And now at 5:30, the Florida Senate has passed the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, limiting discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity in schools.
Governor DeSantis has indicated he will sign it. Critics argue that the bill marginalizes LGBTQ people. We talked with a high school student who says having discussions in class may cut down on hurtful words being used against members of the LGBTQ community.
You're not going to indoctrinate someone because of saying gay. I mean, that's just mind boggles me that they think that's going to happen. What it does, it educates people on, if my bullies knew that these words were harmful and they were actually part of someone's identity, they probably would never used it.
And we want to bring in Facing South Florida host Jim DeFede now to talk more about this decision. And Jim, what did this bill and the debate over it say about where we are in Florida today?
It says that we're really divided. At the heart, this bill, even to its supporters, is supposedly a narrow bill that deals with instruction in K through third grade. Okay, that you shouldn't have conversations about sexual orientation and sexual identity in K through third grades. Well, guess what? It wasn't taking place anyway. So this was a bill in search of a problem that didn't exist. The problem that this bill then created, and that's the larger issue that it speaks to here in Florida, is that it marginalized, as critics say, the gay community because, Senator Tina Polsky had a very good point. I watched all the debate on this all week long. And yesterday she pointed out if there are certain subjects that are just so, difficult for young children to understand that would have to be part of the parents' discussion, such, why not include things like suicide, murder, drug abuse? These are conversations that are not happening with K through third graders either. So this bill, just by singling out sexual orientation and sexual identity, really did make it a social cultural war issue. And that's what the governor wanted, and that's what the legislative sponsor wanted, as he finally admitted he's uncomfortable with the fact that so many young people in high school and in grade school are coming out as gay, and he doesn't understand it. He thinks it's a lot of confusion, and therefore we need to just sort of come out against all of it, and that's what this bill tried to do. But it shows just how far apart and how emotional we can be on an issue that really never should have arisen in the first place because there was no need for this bill.
Jim, the legislature not only passed the Don't Say Gay bill, it also recently passed the ban on abortions after 15 weeks. What's the legislature's agenda here?
So, before I came on, I just sort of scribbled some notes to myself. You mentioned, obviously we talked about Don't Say Gay. We mentioned the ban on abortion, even in cases of rape and incest. There was an immigration bill that was voted on that basically blocks or tries to prevent, any airline or bus service that brings undocumented migrants into the state through the federal government, by contract with the federal government. It bars them from doing business with the state of Florida. It adds to the governor's executive order, which tries to strip funding from Catholic charities and Lutheran services, any group that tries to care for undocumented immigrants. Tomorrow, we're going to see the debate on the so-called Stop Woke Act, which again gets into critical race theory, and essentially this is what the bill is now, the Stop Woke Act. If you're a white kid sitting in a classroom and there's a discussion about slavery and you feel uncomfortable and you feel as if now you feel bad about yourself and you go home and tell that to your parents will be able to sue the school district as a result of the bill that they're going to debate tomorrow. Now, just having said that, this afternoon, I watched a committee hearing in which they passed through a bill that had no other hearings, that was rammed through a Senate committee on day 57 of the legislature, which will prevent, newspapers from running, legal notices, that local governments no longer have to place legal notices in newspapers. The purpose of this? It's always been done that way, but the purpose of this bill is to try to financially cripple newspapers because, again, the legislature doesn't really like media. So you've got that bill. We had a bill earlier this year, which we highlight on this show, that was going to go after the living wage and the prevailing wage that counties and cities have. This bill would have hurt so many working class families. We raised it here on this show. We talked to the sponsor. We highlighted the problems. That bill bill suddenly died. But we're not addressing the insurance crisis. Let's just talk about the fact that in the last couple of months, 6 major insurance carriers have left the state of Florida. It's leaving thousands of homeowners without insurance as skyrocketing insurance rates. On average, 30% higher insurance rates in the state of Florida. Not addressing that. Not addressing affordable housing. You go through the litany of things that this legislature is doing this year. It loves the social red meat issues. It's not addressing on the dollar and cents issues. It even passed a bill that makes it harder for homeowners to get solar panels on their homes and makes it more difficult. So, I mean, you look at this agenda and you ask yourself, who are they serving up there? Are they serving FP&L, or are they serving the residents of the state of Florida? And time again, you're seeing that. That's what this session has been about all for 60 days.
Sounds like the focus has been on political hot-button issues. Jim DeFede, thank you very much for your insight on all of this.
Thanks, Jim.